Hey there, you're at Menacing MTG, and I have a really fabulous deck here for you today. Um, Hope you had a good holiday. This is a Azorious Blink deck, so even though there's no Yorion in the companion slot, there are three in the deck. Makes things happen. There's a whole lot of blinking things off and on the board here with this. And just opponents have trouble keeping things on the board, um, as we get to reuse things in various ways, just on and off the board, and with triggers that just are killing it here. So let's go through the deck, starting right off with the cheap stuff. Charming Prince. This guy comes on the battlefield 2-drop with power and toughness of 2. And you can choose one of the following: Scry 2, which is typically what you'll use it for, gain 3 life if you're desperate, and exile another target creature you own, return it to the battlefield under your own control at the beginning of the next end step. And that sometimes is helpful to shoot Yorion off the board so he can come back on and bring all kinds of stuff off and on the board, blink stuff off and on the board again. I'll get to what that tends to look like. So 4 Charming Prince, versatile card that you access early in the game. You can take him off the board later on with Yorion and or Thassan. So yeah, Thassan is the other mechanism for blinking things every turn. He can blink something off and on. So Charming Prince is the first of those. Now Glass Casket is here. It can take a creature an opponent controls that has a converted mana cost of 3 or less off the battlefield. And you may use this, and then you may choose to blink it off and on again if there's something more important to get rid of at the time. So this is another you could do that with. You're less likely to, but good for early game. Even later on, get a pesky small thing off the board. It could be a veto, it could be anything that's mana cost 3 or less. Okay, a single Kabira takedown. This is an interesting card. I'd originally had the giant that removes all non-giant creatures. And I do have a crystalline giant in here. I was like, oh, if you get desperate, you could use it, and it's a 7/7 with vigilance. But this is more useful, I believe, because number one, you can use it for a mana. You can use it as a white land, but you can also use it because oftentimes the games are intense, long games with this, and you can use it and you can take off the most scary creature on the other side of the board because it deals damage equal to the number of creatures you control. You can also take off a planeswalker that way. So it's a great card just to have in there. You might come upon it at the right moment. One Skyclave Cleric, also another source of white mana, but it comes on the board, and when it does, you gain 2 life. This is yet another card you can blink on and off to gain 2 life again. Then you have Birth of the Meletis, and this is something you can blink on and off. If you catch it before it goes away for good, you can just keep, searching for planes and dropping a 0-4 wall and blink it. So yeah, 2 of these is a good way to get more white mana in your hand. 3 Omen of the Sea, blink this on and off. Scry 2, draw a card again. 3 of these, okay? Cheap. Scry 2 and draw a card is really a great card for that purpose. You can look at the top 2 cards, put them in any order or put them both at the bottom of your deck, whatever combination. A great card. Omen of the Sun. This, of course, you can blink on and off and create more tokens. But this, you can keep in hand if you have 3 mana available. Maybe you have something that's a 3/1 or something with a 1 or 2 toughness. You sit on this. You wait till it's their turn because it has flash, as does Omen of the Sea. You can throw on 2 token creatures, and you can take something out by surprise, kind of ambush them. 3 Skyclave Apparitions, and a powerful card here. When it comes on the board, you can take 1 non-land, non-token permanent. Okay, so that could be, one of the exile cards or something, or creatures, and it exiles them. He holds them underneath him, and when Skyclave leaves the board, the owner of that card doesn't get it back. They get a blue, simple blue illusion token creature that's XX, which is equal to its converted mana cost. The X is equal to its converted mana cost. So 3 of those, another way to remove things from the board. 2 Barrin, this is such a valuable card. Okay, Thassan loves this card. Every turn Thassa's on the board with this guy, he blinks him off, he blinks him back. You can shoot a creature or planeswalker back to its hand, okay? Multiple uses of this card, and once you get other things blinking with Yorion or Charming Prince, you just get it rolling, okay? It's amazing. So 1 Glasspool Mimic. All right, this is a 3-drop, and it comes on, and you can copy a creature you control. Now, if it's legendary, you have to choose one you're keeping, but at times you can copy your Yorion, and it's just a huge thing, because then you get to blink everything that's blinkable off the board and back on again with this 3-drop. Okay, it's fabulous. You can also use this, like say Skyclave or the Casket has something that you want to get rid of more on the board. You ditch what they're holding on to. You could do a Barrin if you're desperate to kind of get something off the board, and you'd have to, of course, ditch the original Barrin. You could do another Crystalline Giant. You could do another Charming Prince. So, a lot of flexibility with this Glasspool Mimic. Just one of them in there. But again, it's a time card that could be used in a really timely way. It also can serve as a blue mana. So you have 2 cards that you can use for white mana and 1 for blue. So enhances your land pool. Then you have 1 Lurrus. And why is there a Lurrus in here? Well, not exactly sure, except that you can bring back Mellitus, you can bring back a Glass Casket, you can bring back Charming Prince. Okay, so you can bring those things back because they have a mana cost of 2 or less. So that's why. In addition, if you're in dire straits for mana and you use them as a blocker, it can totally keep you in the game. And I've had this deck in big trouble and come back with it. So it's one of those decks. You get a key card back in your hand, and all bets are off. All hell can break loose pretty quick once you get what you need on the board. So 1 Crystalline Giant, I like this in here because if you get this on early in the game, really it can kind of be a game ender. It's got that kind of potential because it just adds another counter on it every turn of a different sort. Once it gets hexproof, once it gets first strike, once it gets death touch, once it gets vigilance, and so on and so forth. It's just a real beast to deal with. And it also, if say you don't have the mana for something else to get on, this guy doesn't matter the color, 3 mana gets him on the board. Just one of them in there. Okay, 2 Thassan, Deep Dwelling, potent card, needless to say indestructible. You can use it to tap other creatures, but the big deal is it's a 6/5, 4-drop, indestructible god, and he blinks anything in sight. He blinks. He loves the Barrin, but also, it only. Okay, let me make sure you understand that he only blinks creatures. So you cannot be blinking the Omen of the Sea and those guys like Yorion does, but you can blink Charming Prince, Skyclave Cleric, the Apparitions. The big deal is, of course, Barrin. Lurrus, The Yorion you can blink, and he can blink other things. You could have attacked with the Trawler, and you might blink him to bring him back so he's untapped. So there you have it. He's potent. Okay. 3 Elspeth conquers death. An amazing card. Okay, you can exile a permanent, anything but a land. You can exile it. That costs 3 or greater converted mana costs. And then the second round, the next turn, non-creature spells your opponents cast cost 2 more to cast. And then the third turn, return creature or planeswalker from your graveyard to the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it, or a loyalty if you had planeswalkers. There are no planeswalkers in this deck. So that's amazing. And what you love to have happen is, and believe me, it happens all the time in this deck, you have one of these out, you bring on another Yorion, ditch the previous one, put this guy on the board again, blink him, he exiles something else. When he goes away, he brings on the Yorion that's in the graveyard. You ditch the other one, and so on. The cycle goes. The Yorion blinks this guy off. It's an amazing thing, okay? This is just, if you don't have this deck, build it, okay? Build this deck, because it can beat anything. It can be beaten by some really fast decks, but, even then, super difficult. This is a high quality deck. There are plenty of these versions of this deck that are, in the metagame success, top tier stuff. So 3 Yorions, you know the story there. He comes on the board, send anything you want into temporary exile. They come back and re-up whatever they were doing, okay? Huge, potent, crazy, scary stuff. He's also a 4/5 flyer. He is legendary. We have 3 of them. As I said, don't be afraid to bring a second one on and ditch the first one, because Elspeth's going to bring it back, okay? So there you have that. And then after that, we have a Shark Typhoon. Now, you're in a pinch. You can cycle this through and create a flyer. But if you are patient and you have the luxury of waiting with this, you can bring him on, and then every non-creature spell you cast, which there's not a ton of them, but there's enough, then you create a XX Shark, where X is the converted mana cost of what you're dropping. Now, for example, 3 Elspeths, those are 5 drops. You create a 5/5 flying shark token, okay? Glass Caskets, Birth of Meletis. These are small, but hey, who cares? All these omens, these are, and when you can blink, you can get this guy on the board late game, and you can be blinking this stuff off like crazy. So it just goes nuts. What else do we have here? Myria's Call. I mean, you will play this because you will have plenty of mana. You can use it. Oh, another white mana source. So that makes 3. I misspoke earlier. 3 additional white mana sources. You can use this. You can also pay 3 life and have it come untapped, which you may want to do to hustle out an Elspeth or whatever. So the Shark Typhoon, great card. Dream Trawler. Okay. A lot of times people fold when you get this on the board because it's just so hard to remove them. When he attacks, he draws a card. He always gets +1/+0 because you draw a card at the beginning of your turn. So boom, it's a 4/5. You attack with him, boom, 5/5. This guy's got lifelink and flying. And if he's attacked, all you have to do is discard a card and tap him, and he gains hexproof. So he can protect himself as well. Ultra potent card, 6-drop. Emiria's Call, as I said, you can play this card. It is a 7-drop, but that is really nothing eventually with this deck because you are just moving stuff through. You are just taking things off the opponent's board. It allows you to kind of ferment as a deck and become unmanageable for them. So this can bring on 2/4/4 White Angel creature tokens with flying. Not only that, but non-angel creatures you control gain indestructible until the next turn. So everything can come on in, and you still have these 2/4/4 angel warrior tokens back. Nothing dies. Okay. Last but not least, one Dance of the Manse. Okay, this guy comes in. I'm going to run through the deck and show you what he can bring back. The way it works is you pay 1 blue and 1 white mana, and then you pay X. X being the largest thing you're going to bring back, and it brings back any of those things. Now, if you pay 6, those permanents are also 4/4 creatures in addition to their core card abilities. So let's run through this and see what you can bring back. You can bring back Shark Typhoon, if for some reason that gets removed. You can bring back Elspeths, all of them. You can bring back the Omens, all of them. And guess what? They'd come back as 4/4 creatures if you're paying 6. Birth of Meletis, bring it back. Glass Casket, bring it back. So all that stuff, okay? It's not a ton of stuff, but it's plenty of stuff. And it is brutal. Now, particularly noteworthy, of course, are the Elspeth. But, they are no joke. They take everything off the board. All right, so let's look at the mana. Again, I don't have all the necessary mana here in standard format that gets it going. I don't have any of the pathways, sadly, for blue and white. Not a one. So I have 7 plains, 8 island, 1 Temple of Enlightenment that allows you to scry, comes untapped, 2 Tranquil Coves that give you 1 life, come in tapped, and 4 Fabled Passage. So that is, what do we got here? 15 and 7 is 22 lands. You're like, whoa, what are all these large cards? And you're able to play them ever? Well, yeah, because you just are slowing down the works for the opponent so much. And you have, remember, you have, I believe it's 4 additional lands, 3 white, 1 blue in the form of multi-purpose cards, like the Cleric and whatnot. Yeah, so there it is. That's the whole deck. It's amazing. Build it. If you have the pathways, the thing will be freaking unstoppable. So I hope you enjoy it. Please, folks, consider subscribing to this channel. I'm psyched about bringing out crazy decks, and this is truly a crazy deck. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy the video. Hope you had a great holiday. And thank you very much for walking. Have a great day. We're going to play some games. Okay, jumping right in here. And we have a formidable deck. And I just played against a deck like this, the green-white deck, earlier today. And it was an absolute knockdown match. So I'm going to apologize in advance because this is probably going to go for a long time. I did prevail in that game. As a matter of fact, Emira's was one of the backbreakers, bringing on those 2 flying tokens. They have the enchantment, if this is the same deck, that creates the flyers. So yeah, it's a beast. No attacks here, and we are prepared to play Omen of the Sea. We'll bring on Fabled Passage for a blue mana next turn. We're hoping for Thassan, Depth Dweller as well. Very important card here. Okay, this doesn't look exactly the same because there wasn't Elves in the last deck, but there was the Heliod and the Thassan, which is a tough card. Fortunately, we'd removed it countless times. Now here's what happens. He's going to give him lifelink and get him growing. And there was a ton of equipment attached to the version in the previous game. So he'll no doubt attack with that now. And we're just going to shoot up Omen of the Sea and see what we can find. Okay, there's Yorion, and we will take him. This is excellent. So what we're going to want to do here is bring on Barrin and blink him off the board, and then the following turn bring on Yorion and repeat the process. So he's going to gain some life, he's going to get bigger, and we don't care. We do not care. And there, look at that, there's Elspeth. And this is the way this deck worked. It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable. Okay, so I think, yeah, we're going to remain patient here. What would have been optimum is to have another Mellitus right here. And so guess what? You're out of here. No attacks. Slowed down. Now he could put a lifelink counter on this guy, but to no go. Now he does have those 6 mana in hand, so, and this has got black stuff as well. I'm not sure what we're going to be facing here. But this deck is about as ready as anything you'll get. If I lose, for example, Barrin right here, when I bring out Elspeth, which I'll probably take the Heliod, at the end, when he leaves the board, he brings back a creature or planeswalker, so right back Barrin would come, for example. 2 Elspeth in hand at this point, Trawler, Yorion, got the Fabled Passage to get us up to 6 mana. We're ready to go. Everything in our hand will fly. We definitely, unless we're really desperate for some reason here, like a Crater Hoof was to come on or something, we are, which you don't want to do early in the game like this, we are going to hold off on Elspeth, on bringing Yorion on. We're going to want to put Elspeth on the board and go get Heliod first. And then, sorry about the delay here. I think they may... Ooh, nothing. They don't do anything. He must be off using the bathroom or something. Not sure. But... let's see, this is... We have a missing opponent. I apologize. Things are just starting to unfold. Really, all that we're missing at this point is Thassan. There's 2 of them in the deck, so it can take a while to get one. Could make an argument for 3, but this deck is clicking. With 3 Yorions, 3 Elspeths, 2 Barrins, the Apparitions. I mean, you just have enough stuff that you are going to gum up the works. Not sure what's at play here. Okay, they allow us to do our thing. There goes Heliod. We'll see if anybody's home here. No attacks. We've got the table all set here. Well, this is a bummer because I think I have this guy pinned down at this point. And you'll see that next turn with Yorion coming on, I could remove a creature, I could exile a creature, and I could draw a card after 2 scry and drop 2 more tokens. Okay, he's present and playing, and he's wondering how he's going to get out of this mess here. Now he could have that Heliod card that eliminates enchantments, which would hurt us badly, but we have another Elspeth in hand. Okay, yeah, no problem there. We can take care of that. He still has 4 mana. So here it comes, okay. You get to see auras, equipment. Heartless Act, ouch, okay, that hurts. That does hurt, but guess what? Elspeth will bring him back. Again, the luxury of this deck. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and bring on Yorion. And this is gonna hurt. No attacks. Okay, let's see what we get for card draw here. A glass casket. Okay. Glass casket. And there's Thassan. Yeah, we'll just take that and take Thassan next turn. And we're going to let this will go away and bring us back Barrin. We'll have Thassan on the board. And we're going to have everything we need. Got Trawler that's going to be coming out soon. But next turn, it's going to be Glass Casket and Thassan. Okay, that's going to hurt. That's exiled, so that does hurt. We have two more. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, we're going to go right ahead and remove. Gonna put up Thassan. Gonna put up the passage. And I think we're gonna go blue here. And we'll come in with these tokens. Okay. And we will not bounce anything around here. So go away. Not come back. Ooh, that hurt. That hurt. Okay. Nice play there. Here we go. Yeah, we'll put a 1/1 on him. Nothing to send back at this point. No creatures thus far, so I am worried about the Barrin. We'll attack with these tokens. And we'll create another one shortly. A bunch of them, actually. One by Ardenvale and one by Omen of the Sun. Two by Omen of the Sun. Nothing going there. So that was a big play with the Mind Drain. That was a nice play. That's a powerful card. Okay, that's tough. We'll be able to bounce him. He doesn't have the land, unless he drops one. He does not have the land to fight Barrin at this point. Bring on the tokens. And we're just going to tap him to keep things safe. Okay. So we get a mana, which isn't our first choice here. We'll put it up. This is a tiny bit scary here because if he gets another land, he'll be able to fight with him, but yeah, 7 mana will enable him to bring him on, then fight with Barrin. We'll tap him immediately, but I don't think it makes any difference. You can still fight with him. Let's see what happens here. He wants to get rid of that card. He must have a kill spell. Oh, he's going to fold. Okay. So there you have it. classic game, even against odds with losing 2 vital cards, we still were able to totally prevail. We're just going to jump right in here. Looks tough. Looks tough. Next turn we'll be able to bring the Barrin on. I really am looking for some mana and Thassan and Yorion, so okay, I guess I'll keep that. We don't need Luris at this time. We'll ditch that. Okay, so I can bring on the Crystalline Giant next turn. Okay, this damn thing, okay. We're going to want to get busy here. Oh, the old flip the coin thing, okay. Let's see what we can do here. Okay, he gets lifelink, that's good. The problem's going to be losing cards. The Elspeths do bring some things back. Okay, that's not good. Alright, now we need to ditch him right away. So what we're going to do is this. Now we can use that Glasspool Mimic to create another Crystalline Giant. We'll ditch this. Kaboom. Gains trample. We're going after them. We need to be aggro here. We do have the Apparition at hand too. We can take... He flips a coin. And he loses life. Yikes. That did not work at all. Now we have the Prince in hand, so we can recoup life at any point. We have the passage, we can create another... Okay, we have options here to boot. Okay, let's see what we got. I think what we're going to do here is... I really need a Thassan. I think I'm going to go ahead and take the Golem rather. Okay, that's gone. And now the Prince, and we're going to use this for Scry. Also can block their creature. Okay, Yorion, that's great. Is it what we need and want here? Hard to say no to that. I'm going to keep those right as they are. Okay, Death Touch now, okay. If he does play, he's got one of these monster decks, I don't know. And he loses more life, so this game is looking pretty terminal. I lose my Yorion, but I don't think I'm going to need it. Draws a ton of cards, and we just need to end this game here. And it's not going to take long to do so. Does a whole lot of milling of me, which, yeah, that's great. He's going to have stuff to play next turn, so we got to get busy. We can put Trawler on right now, in fact. Just trying to figure out what is the best option. And toss a blue down, and we can go Trawler. We can get this party started here. I think we're even going to throw Caution to the Wind and attack with Barrin, and I guess I can't do that. Okay, he has Hexproof now. He's getting unmanageable. We're coming in with the Prince. There'll be no more coin flipping, I don't think. Gonna have to block something. He takes the Prince out. This will drop them to 5, and we've got the Trawler in hand, ready to go, that can hexproof himself. We can even make a copy of the Trawler with the Glasspool Mimic. Oh my goodness, he's flipping a coin. He does He does gain some life. Okay. What an insane risk. Well, it was all on the line there, I guess. Saved himself from doom. He does have some action here. He has a whole lot of cards and 5 mana. Probably going to be a 6th mana. So this, we are going to lose a lot. The question is, can they stop us from killing them next turn? I doubt it. Okay, that's a good card. But do they have anything else? I mean, this is kind of a hodgepodge of things. That's not going to do it, folks. So that's it. That's going to be the game. That will be the game. And what I can do here, oh boy. This, here's the card. This is my last swap out that I made, ditching the Realm Cloaked Giant. And look at what it's going to do, folks. This is the game. Good game. Okay, there's the Blinky deck. You didn't in these two games see it go totally nuts with Yorion and Thassan. You got a little dose of it, but this thing is insane. You didn't even get the big stuff, and this thing is so effective. I mean, I haven't had a bad game with this deck yet. It's outrageous. Okay, and look, this is playing a Mythic. I'm at 86%. This thing I was at 79% earlier in the day. This deck is unbelievable. Okay, hope you build it and let me know how it goes. All right, take it easy.